at Aurovalley Ashram, which is on the bank of the Ganges in between Rishikesh and Hardwar, and I'm here with Swami Brahmdev. And Swamiji, thank you so much for hosting us here. You're hosting the Peace Leadership Conference. And we have a few questions for you, but first, if you could just tell us a little bit about Aurovalley and the mother, Sri Aurobindo, so people would understand a little bit.
Aurovalley is an inspiration from the mother's dream, mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. And mother dreamed that there should be a place on earth where nobody claims that it belongs to them. It belongs to the humanity, to all those who want to live for truth. And like a one family, without any contradictions, without any religions, and without any competitions with each other, to create a place of love and peace and harmony and bliss. The concept of Auroville, to exist with consciousness and live for the divine only, or to live for some highest aspiration. So that's the concept of mother's dream of Auroville, and this small Aurovalley is an inspiration from the mother's dream. So from last almost 32 years, we are here, and just slowly.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful ashram, Swamiji, and there's so much inspiration with the photographs and the quotes from Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and it seems so relevant today when you talk about a place with unity and love and harmony. There seems to be so much chaos and violence in the world and quite a bit of fear. You spoke earlier during that satsang about how there's always been challenging times. Could you speak to that a little bit?
This is the beauty of this whole world, that so many beautiful things are happening in the world. Peace is growing, love is growing, harmony is growing, and the opposite also is growing, violence is growing. So this is nature's way. Because nature is doing her work perfectly. She knows what she is doing, what for she is doing. So all is a part of the process of the evolution of life and evolution of human consciousness. We have to learn many lessons.
I'm sorry, we have to what?
We have to learn many lessons. We do not know what to do with this life and how to live it. So nature, time to time, with different experiments, with different experiences, she's just giving us training. She's breaking our inertia, ego, ignorance, unconsciousness and sometimes she uses some strong ways, sometimes war, sometimes even terrorism, sometimes catastrophe, sometimes some sort of what we see, the violence around. But behind everything, there is a purpose of the nature. To break human selfish nature, and to awake us and become aware that we are not here just to eat, sleep and die. We are here to live like a conscious being for some higher purpose, or for some good purpose, with love, with bliss, with harmony. So nature trying her best to teach us, and we are learning slowly.
And so from this perspective, when viewing the world and viewing the news, speak a little bit more about someone who might be watching the news and goes to a place of fear. Speak a little bit more to someone who might get overwhelmed and concerned about the world, how to shift into a perspective of nature is actually everything's perfect. Could you speak to that a little bit more?
The thing is that how you relate the things. Everybody has a different level of consciousness. If I relate something, whatever I listen, whatever I see, and whatever is happening around, if I relate all that with my negativeness, with my negative nature, with my negative attitude, it will create a fear. So it is not a problem. It is not what is happening. The problem is that I do not know how to relate the things. So I relate the things with negativeness and start feeling fear. And if I relate all these things with little better consciousness, to see all these things with little more better understanding, better consciousness, so then there is no need to fear. I am not very intelligent or more intelligent than the nature. So nature is doing her work perfectly, but I do not know how to. I always interfere and think that I know more, and that creates problems.
Okay. So speak a little bit more about then this evolution of consciousness in the individual through this transformation that's happening on a larger level.
Because this game of life is a play of the nature. And the name of this game is evolution of consciousness. And to each human being, nature is preparing to make him a good instrument, so this instrument can manifest the nature's program, nature's plans. Or we can use the word divine plans. But to prepare us, because everything when you want to prepare to make some instrument, there are so many defects, so many things which have to remove, which have to add. So according to the process of each one, everyone is in a process of his own evolution. So everybody has a different nature according to the nature of someone. Everyone is facing different problems, different situations, different circumstances, and growing with the experiences, with the lessons. So that is nature's way.
And how do things like yoga, how does yoga and meditation and these ancient sciences help in this process of evolution of consciousness?
Actually, yoga is a very, very, like you can say that highest knowledge of life. That yoga means that there is something which you are missing and you have to connect with that. You have to unite with that, and when you will unite with that, everything will become perfect. Until you are not united with that, then something is missing in your life and perfection is not coming in the life system, everything. So actually, the yoga is that to unite with that something in you, which is the highest self of you. And then there are so many different techniques and ways and different, sometimes people choose different paths and different ideas just to discover that what is that highest in me with whom I have to unite myself. So yoga is a concept of union. This is one way. The other side of the thing is that mostly when we use the word yoga, the concept of union is with the divine. Then the second question comes that how can I live without divine? Without divine, there is no life. If life is there, if I am breathing, if I am alive, it means that my connections with the divines are perfect. Because the fish cannot live without water. Fish lives in the water, born in the water, disappears in the water, plays in the water. We also born in the divine, live in the divine, play in the divine, disappear in the divine. We are always, our relation with the divine is that divine lives in me, I live in the divine. So there is no question of separation. So I am already united. But somewhere in our nature, in human nature, we forget that. And how to now recover that? My memory, my awareness that I am not separate. I am already with the divine, in the divine, for the divine. But to remove that forgetfulness, there are so many ways. So and for that sometimes we meditate, sometimes we use many different ways to just to become aware. So meditation is also one of the ways that which can help you to make you aware. But if anything can help you to make you more conscious, more aware, so that all is a process of yoga.
Okay.
And our life is yoga. If we know how to live this life, how to live it, then it is a very natural, spontaneous process. Always you are in yoga. The whole nature is doing yoga.
Yeah, I see many signs here that say all of life is yoga. All of life is yoga. And say a little bit more of it. So it's not like you do your yoga and then there's life, but rather all of life. Could you say a little bit more about that?
Now people think that if they are doing something, then it means it is a yoga. Yoga is not a thing of doing. It happens. With what intentions, with what motives, with what consciousness you give movement to your life or you live. Yoga is attitude. It's a yogic attitude. With what attitude you exist, you live, you face the situations. So all life is yoga means, because all life is yoga means that connection, contact, yoga. So all life is a reaction of contacts. We are always, whole of our senses, mind, body, emotions, all our movements, they are always make connections. So when you connect with something, immediately the process starts, you react, you express. So whole our life is a reaction of contact. So our life is yoga. And yoga is yoga is an attitude of life.
Please say more about attitude of life.
Because all our life is attitude, everything is attitude. Whenever everybody, according to their different natures, in their nature means attitude, so different attitudes are active in everybody's life. So now, this human bag is full of various kind of attitudes. And one of the attitude is the yogic attitude inside. Yogic attitude means, you can say that, because we use the word divine, because it looks a beautiful word. Divine means that something much more greater, beautiful than us, much more powerful, much more higher. So yogic attitude is like a divine attitude in you, divine nature in you, where you react, but react with the divine attitude.
And so let's explore this, because you were talking about how nature and this evolution, and nature is working to help us learn many lessons, to let go of our ego, our selfishness and greed. And then when we get to a place of a fuller expression of this higher self, then nature expresses through us. Is that, do I have this? Is that what you were saying?
Nature means nature, like we are just like a channel. So we are just a machine. All the forces wants to manifest. All the natures wants to manifest. And for their manifestation, they need channel, like a television. Many programs, many forces making programs, but they need a company like a television from where they can display their channels, their programs. So we are just like a television for the forces, for the natures. So they have their programs, and they choose according to whatever is nature active in you. According to that, you start receiving the programs from them, from those forces, and they start displaying. And you said, I am expressing, or I am living, or I am doing. It is not you are doing or you are expressing. You are just a puppet of these forces, or this channel of these forces.
So this gets really interesting, because sometimes people would tell me, oh, if you do yoga, meditation, you're just trying to escape from the world. And I was reading some of the quotes from the mother and Sri Aurovalley, the reaching a higher consciousness and then expressing that into the world, there's a transformation that happens. And so really, as we awaken to this higher consciousness in ourselves, nature expresses through us, and that starts to transform and manifest different ways in the world. Is that right?
The thing is that actually this human being has the potential that we can replace our nature every day. We can change our nature every day. We can choose the nature attitude Every day we can replace our attitudes. And every day we can express and react with a different attitude. As soon as the level of your consciousness will little uplift, will change, your whole nature will change. Your whole attitude will change. Your whole understanding will change. So people who think that the escaping from the world, maybe the definition of the word for them is very limited. The word means not that if you are doing meditation or if you are doing some sort of yoga, you are just escaping from the world or running. It is people react. People not want to see that you become better than them. You think better than them. They do not know how to appreciate, so they just simply react with their normal nature. And they have to speak something, so they speak. They never bother for that.
So in terms of seeing, nature, everything's perfect right now with nature, with working. Speak to us a little bit about the vision of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother in terms of the potential of humanity awakening and what that can look like here.
Mother Sri Aurobindo, they said that the man is not a final stage of the evolution. They said there is something more better than the man which nature is preparing, and that is going to descend on this earth. The next step of the evolution, like from the monkeys to the man, now man to the more higher conscious, something like a supramental being with the very like a more divine powers, more higher powers. That kind of species, new being nature is preparing to. That is the concept of Sri Aurobindo. And to how that new being will happen or what is, for that they said that they able to fix some new forces which are supramental forces. And these supramental forces are now more active in the world. And these forces, they are doing their work of transformation, of change. And with the effect of these forces, supramental forces, some new process, some sort of changing process is going on. And wherever there is a receptivity, opening, or aspiring peoples, or wherever this force is much more higher, super intelligent force, she knows her work and she's doing her work. But according to Sri Aurobindo, this is a period of very big transformation, where there are much more possibilities now that very soon, sooner or later, there will be life on earth without falsehood, without ignorance, without even death. And that kind of, they have a concept of this yoga and life.
It's so strong as you describe that. I mean, it's just such a beautiful possibility. So we're in that transformation now. Sri Aurobindo would say we're in that period of transformation now.
Yes.
And so we're at a higher level, even though there can seem to be chaos, if there's a higher level, it's the supramental.
Supramental forces.
And so it's a higher level now than it's ever have been. Is that right?
These forces, they are now doing their work to uplift the level of human life. Everything.
And this is going to get stronger and stronger?
Yes, you see the history now, how we grow slowly. It took billion years to reach up to this level. We were not like this 1,000 years before, 10,000, 20,000 years before. So if we just slowly from the stone, from the plant, then animal, monkey, man, and it is not the man is the last stage. The next is the supramental being.
And so each of us, by doing our own part, working on our attitude, working on our inner awakening.
Yes.
Could you speak then a little bit how there is assistance for each individual as we awaken, whether it's from nature, whether you call it from the masters?
Yes, because everywhere, everyone is actually a tiny part of this process. So nature is making a different experiments in each life, in each nature, because this is a transformation of all the darkness, ignorance, falsehood, garbage, whatever is we have collected. And now with this new intervention, new forces involved, so these forces, they are trying to remove all that or transform all that. So everyone is facing a different situation, different problems, different kind of, in the way everyone is participating. But everyone is participating, but this supramental work or transformation work is not dependent on us. It is the decision of the Supreme. And when the Divine or Supreme has decided to transform, they know how and what way that will happen. And so according to that, work is going on.
It's such a different perspective of thinking, I have to go change the world. It's such a different perspective of what you're describing.
It is not that I have to change the world, I can only cooperate.
I can cooperate
Yes.
in the transformation
Yes,
that's
in the
underway.
cooperate. I can give myself, okay. I can say, okay, use me also.
I loved earlier how you talked about, someone asked you, how do I give myself to Mother?
Yes,
And you said, you just reach out.
yes, take me.
And so you take me. And
I
so,
am here and I am yours.
and so we can give ourselves to the divine
Yes.
every day.
That is the idea, that is the thing, that to live that, to think that I am, this is ignorance. What I am, I have so limited capacities, limited understanding, limited knowledge, full of conditions and many things. So, I belongs to the Supreme, to the Infinite, to that Source who has no frames. So it is, the thing is that as soon as you know that I belongs to the Supreme Reality, Supreme Truth, that, so a very simple way to tell, please, I am here, take me. I am here and I am yours. But our ego is so strong, so strange that always we want to live with our small, limited identity and just to live for very something. To live for something makes us limited.
Say more about that, Swamiji. To live.
Everyone is trying to become something, to show something, that I am something. So something, okay, but something, what is something? What is the definition of something? Something. So whatever you can become, you will be always something. Something is always limited. So if it's okay, you have a choice. If you want to live a limited life, okay, become something. But you have a possibilities to live for nothing. You have a possibilities to live infinite. So instead of living something, I said, I don't want to live for something. I want to live for nothing. Nothing means there is no end of nothing. Nothing. Nothingness, you cannot describe the nothing. Nothing is infinite. Something is limited. To be born to live for the infinite.
So Swamiji, so what? Any final words you want to say to people who are listening right now about their own awakening process and offering themselves up to the divine? Actually,
the thing is that I'm just telling what I feel. I have nothing. I not. This is my. One very thing is that we have to protect ourselves from that knowledge which makes us limited.
Oh, so we have to protect ourselves
from that knowledge which we have learned, which making us limited. And we have to protect the world also from that knowledge which is making limited to all. If we can protect from our knowledge to ourselves and the others, then there are chances to enlarge, to become vast, to live the infinite. Because they said that what you know is a half knowledge, and what you not know is the truth. And we always stamp on our knowledge and say, I know, this is my... Now is not a time to stamp on what you know and to tell this is my knowledge. That all is falsehood, all is ignorance. It's hard. So it's okay.
Beautiful. Swamiji, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, namaste.